Oh, baby, we're back. We're back once again, and the music has finished, so it's time to begin. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. I see a lot of Doomium as well, which, hey, I can't blame you. I mean, Bitcoin's just basically been straight down since late February. And goddamn, man, finally catching a little bit of a bounce here. In today's video, we'll be going over what I'm looking for, very specifically to enter into perhaps long-term, long positions. But ultimately, Bitcoin, if you are a long-term investor thinking, 5-10 years down the road, I do think that areas of interest are coming up or are already here for very, very long-term type of holding, not leverage trading, not nothing like that. But I'm talking about just straight up actual fucking investments, the actual fucking investments, which we all pretend that we make. Anyways, Krown says almost 2 years as a member, started following years before the pre-transplant days. Transplant. What about my transformation from female to fucking male, man? Hope to be here for the second. I hope to be here as well for the second. I'm actually planning on getting another hair transplant at the end of this year, if all goes well. But if Bitcoin keeps on going down, there's gonna be no fucking transplant. I'm gonna have to graft my chest hairs to my head, which actually is probably very cost effective. It's good, man. Yes, we all need to make it all back just right now, immediately, run it back up, make me whole again, and then we can go down after that. Hey, Krown, do you like Doom metal? I like the game Doom, and I like the music in it, which happens to be metal. And yeah, man, it's fucking, I think it's just brilliant, that game. That whole experience, it was probably one of my top gaming experiences, honestly. Go bald? No way! Not yet, at least. But if I do go bald, I will be getting a toupee. What is it called? Like the fake hair. Scrotum hair has body. I mean, to be fair, it's not too far off. It's not too far off from my natural hair type anyways. You don't need a hair transplant. You already got a girlfriend. That is the point. That is the reason why we get hair transplants, to impress the ladies, because everyone knows that ladies hate bald men. Just look at all the bald men in the world getting absolutely no poussé. Very bad. Very, very nasty. Love from Australia. Good morning to you. I imagine it's probably late in the day in Australia for you there. I see Ali. What's up, man? I only have 7 chest hairs. What? You call yourself Middle Eastern? You only have 7 chest hairs? What the fuck is this, man? Wear a stylish chipmunk. Yes, that would be the idea. Yes, a wig. A wig would be right for me. I'll give it some time here for people to join on in. I do suspect, just based off of the current YouTube trends that I've been seeing with my views, that it's probably gonna be a bit of a smaller stream today. Things have been steadily downsizing over the past month, despite Bitcoin actually having some pretty big moves. Typically, that does beget a lot of interest within the space. So it is interesting. It's, at least in my opinion, it's quite interesting to see that the interest is dropping off despite Bitcoin actually having these relatively big moves. In fact, I'll let you know a weird secret, or you probably already know, but the times in which this channel has gotten the most views, the most public interest, has been always during the first leg down of a bear market. So back in 2021, the most views that this channel was getting was back here in December, about a month after the market had topped. And then things actually were pretty damn good as far as view goes until we got into that crypto summer that really demolished things. But going back to our current instance, it is weird to me to see that the interest already seems to be not in this market, at least. Anyways, I saw a great piece of news recently. I saw it in the Twitters, or the X's, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it is this: Jim Cramer says today's market sell-off shouldn't scare investors. Not the best news. Not the best news. What do you mean? Don't be scared of this, guys. Don't be scared of this, because it can get so much worse. But you can see that traditional markets actually are on some pretty major areas. I really would be expecting things to at least have a daily bounce here. I mean, fucking NASDAQ has been straight down since February 18th, and it has come down, I think, about 10% now. Yeah, no, more than 10%, almost 15%. So I actually do have to buy relatively soon, although I do think it will likely come down more a little bit later. And shout out to Tnight in the Discord for pointing out that the quarterly has actually taken out the prior quarterly's low. So, long term, this thing does look like it potentially is going into a real corrective area. Personally, I'd like to buy big, if it does get to like middle or low $17,000 region. But for right now, should be a short-term bounce. I mean, maybe hell freezes over and the Fed pivots and all of the stars align in the background, and maybe this is the actual reversal from here. But I mean, this really was a straight down move. So I do suspect that the bounce can be very, very violent and very powerful, and maybe even bring it back up. I think maybe even around $21,000 before the real decision is made if it's going to be a lower high or not. But until then, should be pretty easy here for a bounce for the more short and medium term traders. Anyways, let's see. Shibanachi says, but yeah, Trump talking daily is throwing multiple wrenches into the market. I do agree with that. Again, as someone who actually did support him in a very limited contest between two options of a giant douche and a turd sandwich. But I have to agree. I'm not a fan of him talking all the day. Not because I don't think that he has important things to say, but because it makes me have to pay attention to this shit. And I like it when it's quiet. I like it when it's easygoing. I like it when I like it when I don't have to do too much thinking. John Dude says, Bitcoin 2-month jewel turned white, sir. Your thoughts? Let me actually bring it up here. We'll get into the real analysis relatively soon, but this could be of relevance. Here's the bi-monthly chart for Bitcoin. Let's just go look at exactly what you were speaking about. And yes, indeed, the bi-monthly jewel has turned white here. Let's see. Last time it turned white was July in 2021. The time before that was your 2018 highs. So, it does seem to time around the top relatively well. You can also see that there is bearish divergence forming here on the bi-monthly chart, but it would have to obviously confirm this as a local high, and it won't really be able to do. I mean, if you're very aggressive, then you would say it's already confirmed that because it's come back down below the low of the prior. I personally would like to see a close below there, so that would have to be a close below your January lows at about $78,000, let's call it. But at that point, that would be multiple drives of bearish divergence, and yeah, I would feel very comfortable saying that the bull market or any bull market hopium is over for a long time after that, and probably priced down somewhere into the mid 50s if that were to happen. But again, that's very, 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 very far away, and I do want to be providing a bit of hopium, at least on today's video, because I do think that I do think that it's warranted to be quite literal. Anyways, I'll read a few more of these comments, and then we'll get into the analysis. Just admit it, you guys missed Sleepy Joe. In some ways, yes. I mean, market also went up when he was president too, man. Like that's one of those things that seems to be quite consistent no matter who's fucking president, huh? Just continues to go up and away. I see some people talking about shitcoins. Nice. Oh my God, it's worse than when he tweeted all the time. Yeah, the tweets. You used to have to have fucking notifications on for that. Just waking up in the middle of the night and what's been said now? Oh, market moved. What do you know? What do you fucking know? Now I'm terrified. Says vacation time. I mean, to be fair, like I don't mean to be shitting on this, but it really hasn't been that bad to the downside just yet. I mean, compared to what Bitcoin can do, I mean, this is a 30% downside move thus far. Can do that, it's not that big of a deal in terms of what it's capable of, which, on the upper end could be 60, 70, 80% drawdowns, which what we have seen from market cycle to market cycle. So we shall see. We shall see. Bullish divergence on the others two bi-weekly. I'm actually genuinely curious to see this, so I will put this one up. But I think from there we go into the actual analysis. Is there bullish divergence? Well, let's see. Is there bullish divergence on the bi-weekly? There is not, actually. There is not. Unfortunately, there is not. But, does it try for another bounce here? It already had about a month worth of bounce from this same region, which have failed and rolled over. So to me, that's a pretty bad sign. Maybe there's one more short-term bounce, but yeah, I mean, I see bearish divergence right here between this point and this point, to be honest. But the easy part of that move's already played out. Obviously, I would be expecting to kind of trade sideways in a range, between like 260 billion versus the current low, and then perhaps break down a little bit later. We shall see. We shall see. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily. There literally cannot be hidden bullish divergence on the daily because Bitcoin is in a downtrend, and you can only have regular bullish divergence in a downtrend, which Bitcoin actually does have a potential for here. And that's actually kind of given away, or we're actually not looking at Bitcoin, but Bitcoin right here, same shit, it is making higher highs on the RSI alongside lower lows on price action. So, short term probably does give a bounce. I should probably just go into the actual analysis here. So let me get my notes up. Let me take a sip of this salt and creatine water. It's really good, actually. Has Caspa bottomed? Oh, man. Good luck with that, buddy. Sorry, but good luck with that, man. Anyways. In yesterday's video, we were looking for a quick short-term move to the upside, somewhere around 84 to 85,000 bucks, in alignment with that last CME gap from Friday, then followed by some quick downside. And that's essentially what we've got in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin hitting a new low just below 77,000 bucks. And in today's video, I want to be speaking about, is this a buy opportunity? Where is the opportunity first and foremost? So first, I do want to just reiterate the importance of the weekly ranges from the HPDR. That I do think that this one is getting it quite well here. 61.8 to the upside versus 78.6 to the downside. I do expect that will be the range for the short term / medium term future. That would be a range high at around 86,500 bucks and a range low, a little bit lower than the current wick low at 75,500 bucks. Moving on from there, however, I do want to get into several things that suggest that Bitcoin is entering into if you are long-term bullish and you don't think that the bull market is over right now, we are getting indications that we've seen in prior bull markets that were very similar, that did produce the most important major higher lows. And those are really starting to happen now in many ways. So first, we can see that the daily 200 simple, this white moving average here on CME has been hit. You also do see a nice rally from there as well. So that is a good, good sign that it will get played off of. And generally, when we have seen moves down to that white moving average during bull market, especially this current one, these have all been major opportunities. Yes, it can spend some time there, like you saw here in 2024 and also in 2023, but these in the grand scheme of things were pretty damn good areas that offered up a nice profile. Anyways, moving on from there, I also wanted to get into or let me actually go back to the index right here. I also wanted to go over the index, so spot price action, major moving averages. You can see that Bitcoin. Let me just get rid of everything that doesn't matter for this conversation. So boom, 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 and there we go. Yeah, we're looking at the white 200 simple again, and we're looking at the blue 377 exponential. So very, very high term time frame moving averages. And again, whenever they have been in a bullish crossing where the simple moving average is above the exponential moving average, moves down into the range between those two, like you see here, were again, major bottoming areas, major bottoming area. What about prior cycles over here? Yes, major bottoming area yet again. It did take time, as you can see. It took a lot of time. I mean, this was ultimately 3 months of consolidation. This one over here was a little over a month, and this one over here again another couple months. But long term, if you don't think that this market cycle is over, this is the area, or this is close enough to the area where would theoretically be interested. Now, I want to be very, 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 very clear in stating this. Am I blindly saying out there to go and fucking buy? No, obviously not. Don't be a retard. That is retarded. And you know what? We can say retarded right now because there's been a new Trump order on that, which I will share with you right now.
Today, I am signing an executive order making it legal to call your friends fags and retards if they are doing something faggy or retarded.
Fair enough.
Fags and retards, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to start calling our friends this again. And we will. We're going to call them fags and retards again.
You heard it here first, fagtards. It's time. Yes, and also my dad sent it to me as well. It's a weird day when both your father and your fiance are sending you the same fucking memes. crazy. Anyways, I just see that the stream might have shitted out over here. Let me see if it's actually still working. Hopefully it is. Indeed it is, or is it? It says it has a good connection, but I'm not sure. Maybe that just took me off the YouTubes right there. But indeed, that's not what I mean. I don't mean that this is, 100% buying this region. Just if you are long-term bullish, this is the areas that, starts to be a lot more interesting. So going through it a little bit more, I do want to also follow up on the daily jewel signal because this one did fire off. This was back on over early March, as you can see. And what I'm very interested in here is one, the positioning of the fast-moving oscillator, the blue and the cyan, and of course, two, that green background, as you see right here. And when we've seen that particular signal in the past, which I've marked off with all of these red vertical bars, you can see that again, these were correlating with at minimum very big bounces during bear markets, and of course during bull markets. I mean, these were the lows essentially. So I do think that warrants some consideration. Again, because if you do believe that the bull market cycle is not over, then we're seeing multiple things that you would expect to see alongside this as well. Another thing that we brought up from yesterday's video, but I wanted to follow up on it because it's going to get another closure today. That being the 5-day time frame. We can see that the 5-day time frame for the HPDRO indicator representing directional volatility is at extreme lows, and hopefully on the next, closure, or which is coming tonight, we do see it actually turn back up with the positive slope again. But anytime, again, during bull markets, so very, very specific here, anytime during bull markets, we've seen it get around this zone. These have been, as you can see with the red vertical bars, major lows on price action. Again, maybe not the best timers in some of these cases. Some of them did take a couple months to work out. But in terms of price, very fucking good, like very, very good. So, if Bitcoin is still in a bull market, that should be looked as a positive thing. But it should also be known that we are seeing the lowest actual read of this cycle for the 5-day HPDRO. So maybe that's a signal that it's actually breaking right in front of our eyes. So I could just easily make that a bearish feature, but we'll see what happens upon tonight's closure, because at that point we'll get the next tick, and if it's headed up from there, like if it gets another positive slope, then of course that would be, I guess, a more good side of for the Bitcoin laws yet again. And then I think I'll end the hopium on one last thing. And where is it? There we go. Yes. Actually, let's go to this chart right here. We'll go to tether dominance, or just stablecoin dominance, kind of one and the same here, to be honest. And we can see that, yes, there has been a nice rally here. Well, not so nice for the crypto holders, I suppose. But it is still on a lower high. And thus far, it has been arrested right at that white 200 moving average on the weekly time frame. So I would be looking at this area as a likely pushback region for a local high. The problem is that this thing, while it very likely does swing down from here, could very well put in a higher low, and that would be my confirmation of a bear market really beginning, but or one of my confirmations. So do be aware of that. But in the short term, does it come back down a little bit? Yeah, I suspect so. There's also some bearish divergence here forming on the daily. In fact, speaking of divergence, there's one last thing I missed for Bitcoin. There is bullish divergence now starting to be possible here, kind of in the exact same way that we spoke about about a week and a half ago when this move first happened, and that is with the higher lows on the daily RSI alongside lower lows on price action. And on a closing basis, it actually is a pretty exaggerated lower low. This one, 84,000 versus this one over here, about 79,000 on a closing basis, which is how RSI is calculated. So, short term, Bitcoin likely gets another try to bounce, I suspect. Just be aware that, any bounce that fails to get back above, especially last Sunday's high, or sorry, not this past one, but the one before that, just the 2nd of March's high, which was about $95,000. Bitcoin's still in a downtrend. It could pop all the way up to 85, 86,000 bucks, hit the tops out of that 5-day weekly HPDR range, and then come back down. But in the short term, that is a decent rally, I suppose. Just be aware of where those lower highs would likely come in around. So yeah. Anyways, let me once again go over. Yes. Okay. Now, I want to take just a moment on this video to also be hopefully as abundantly clear as possible, speaking directly to the fagtards again. Kidding, okay? I use that as a term of endearment, all right? I don't have any ill hatred towards either of these groups. And I consider myself one of them, actually, very much. You can guess which one. Anyways, there is, in my opinion, I can let you know what I'm doing, although I can't tell you what to do, but I can let you know what I'm doing. I am not interested in playing long-term, long positions until I see two things minimum. One of two things. One would be getting back above that March high, which was $95,000. If Bitcoin reclaims that high, that's a reversal to me, and we're probably going to see 100,000 plus relatively soon after that. The other thing that would also make me very interested, perhaps in long-term long positions, would be let me just go over here. One, it would be the hash ribbons indicator firing off a buy signal. We do see that there's still a projected buy signal here. It does seem to be contracting as this signal goes, but the number of projected buy days for this one to confirm has actually gone up, obviously massively from yesterday's video, which is why I say, hey, I don't kind of take that with a grain of salt, but it is still once again on track. And if Bitcoin can bounce here and hold it for a week, then I guess it probably would print one of those signals. But I'd need to see that in combination with one other thing. It could be one of two things. One, it could be with daily bullish divergence for Bitcoin, which it actually already kind of has over here, or two, it could be with a daily silver cross, which is probably going to happen a lot later, to be fair, because this one is quite diverged. So it actually require Bitcoin to rally up at least above the 55, which is $92,500, and hold it there for, I would imagine, like 10 days, something like that. So, going to be a little bit late to the party if I wait for that. But in my opinion, during these times, it's not about being early. Anyways, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this video. Just a short and quick and sweet one. We'll continue on with the live stream here as well. Of course, if you want to join in on future live streams, consider liking and subscribing on this video, because it'll let you know when future updates happen, which of course I change my mind all the time because new price action happens all the time. And we'll end it right there. Okay, nice one. Take care. Okay, beautiful. Jason's here. Holy fucking moly, man. Good morning to you, Jason. Jason actually just survived a cyclone, I think it was. Do you know what that is? No, you don't know what that is. It's like a hurricane, but I guess like it spins the opposite way or something like that. I don't know. It's like a fucking trans hurricane. All right. The people like Pizzino. I love Pizzino as well, man. I've met him. I've met him and his brother many times, man. Well, not Michael many times, just once, but fucking love those guys. They're great. They're absolutely great. Let me get over to the chats here. I realize that I've already missed a few, so I'll go back up and read them up. I see Danny says triple top forming in Bitcoin dominance daily. I don't know. Let's see. I wouldn't call it that. I really despise this chart because I don't think it represents what people want it to represent, but I do think it's just generally going to go up from here. But I've been rolling on Bitcoin dominance many times, and in my opinion, it's always better to just be using whatever crypto asset, altcoin you're looking at, shitcoin versus Bitcoin, rather than relying on this, because this is just a very convoluted valuation. Again, there's hundreds of millions, maybe not hundreds of millions, but hundreds of thousands of meme coins, I'm sure, out there in altcoins. And so this sort of calculation, I do think, has been like co-opted since, probably since 2020, honestly. But yeah. Anyways, my point is that, if you have a question about an altcoin, if you're specifically interested in an altcoin, you're going to see some random altcoins have good rallies during these times. During this past weekend, we actually identified a couple of them that were looking completely different than everything else. They were very obscure altcoins, shit that I've never heard of, but there's always something. So that's what I'd be saying about that, man. Better to focus in and narrow down. Would I call this a triple top? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't call it a top. I'd call it most likely continuation of trend here. All time frames point a little bit higher at least. So yeah. Anyways, that is not to say that altcoins, or some altcoins, like a very small amount of altcoins, will not have rallies. They will, but I guess the majority of them going to be losing more to the downside than Bitcoin, I suppose, is one way how that can happen. I see Khalifa next. He says, "Oh, you want to look at some forex?" Yeah, I actually really love looking at forex. It's just so pure, man. It's so pure in a way. Now, pound dollar here. I do think next move is. Let me actually go to a monthly. I do think that next move is to the upside, probably does retest that September high from 2024, but you're not asking about that. You're looking at a daily and a weekly. Daily time frame, I do think it's going to spend some little bit of time consolidating here after maybe one more spike higher. So maybe something like this comes back down, bases around this region, and then tries, higher later. That's kind of would be my general read on this thing. Yeah, not short term, but weekly time frame. Could pop down to like 127.5, but I think that would be, that would be where a likely low would come in around. And this one very likely does retest that September 2024 high. I do suspect just based off of the monthly right here. So yeah, man. Let's see. Is there anything else on this one? Do I have my momentum chart up here? Oh fuck! I forgot to show the most hopium-inducing thing on today's video. It's global liquidity. Global liquidity continues to expand, but that's becoming, or it's not a meme, but it's becoming a meme just because the mass market focus on such an indicator. But we'll see. I suppose. I don't want to make any assumptions based off of that personally. Anyways, Neil says, hey, sir, thanks for the daily TA. Never miss it. Nice. Bull case for Solana. The bull case for Solana is always, it just goes straight up from here. But the probability of that is very, 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 very low in my opinion. The bull case in the short term is similar to Bitcoin. You do have bullish divergence here on the daily RSI. So I do think you're in for, a short-term bounce. Bounce could easily come up to 140 to maybe even 150. But just like Bitcoin, as long as you're below that March high, which for Solana is about 179, 180, I'd have to be, long-term bearish on this. So the bull case would be, in other words, reclaim this region right here, and then sideways and up is the name of the game, or at least maybe another retest of that high, because Solana does certainly, to me, look like the weakest of the high market cap coins. I think it's a lot more likely to move closer to $100, probably even a little bit under 100. I think that this one could come down to like 85 to $90 quite easily. So, yeah, man, I can give you the hopium, but just understand I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen. I do think that you have a bounce here. If the bounce under some act of God reclaims this high from, again, early March, then, I guess look for another move up into the 200 plus region, but not the biggest fan of it right here, just personally. Hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. John Dude said, oh yes, we already read that one. Jogan says, do you think equities get a bounce tomorrow? Well, I think they're actually going to get it today because I'm already in Tuesday. I'm guessing you're probably in the American time zone. So tomorrow for you is Tuesday. Turnaround Tuesday, everyone fucking knows it. And yes, traditional markets have hit some pretty major areas. Here's the daily 377 for NASDAQ, but it's like basically the same fractal as what we see on Bitcoin, both operating between the 200 simple and that 377, and right now bouncing off of the 377. So I suspect that that's going to be the range for a while. SPY futures, same shit, but a little bit stronger here, obviously. Didn't get the bounce that I wanted to see earlier, but I think that we get a similar bounce to that from this region, and then maybe come back down around those lows. But obviously for traditional markets, there is no bullish divergence here even possible. So that would imply that things do have to come back down and make a slightly new low. So, if SPY futures come down to 5,400 or NASDAQ comes down, a little bit more closer to 18.5 or 18, then you will have a potential for that divergence. You are hitting extremes here on volatility. So I do think you're in for a short-term bounce. Would I say that the low is blindly in? Personally, I'd want to see it come back down and retest that low or go a little bit lower, put in some bullish divergence, and then carry back on with the potential for the upside. So, yeah, that's how I'd be saying that. Anyways, Tyler, hey, what's up, Tyler? Ola, please look into the Thailand bot versus the US DERP. Okay, let's check this one out. Monthly and quarterly. Yes, monthly and quarterly. Holy shit, what the fuck happened here? Jesus, man, what is this chart? This is a weird ass looking chart, and it's being massively influenced by this print over here from the '05, which makes it kind of difficult to see, to be honest. But when you're looking at higher term timeframes, that does matter, to be honest. But you are in a downtrend. Let's see what a quarter looks like. I'm looking for something obvious here first. Is one more likely to bounce here or not? It's like, do you trust indicators on something like this? This is your quarterly RSI. You don't really see that too often. I don't know, man. I actually really don't know on this one. If I had to call it, I think that this one does move up from here. How high does it go? Maybe back around your September highs from 2024, but I don't really have any other, I really don't feel strongly about this. I would feel more comfortable saying, I don't fucking know on this one, man. No like clear and obvious trend to me. Just short term, I guess I would be a little bit more biased towards this one having a short term upside move. But does that change anything? I wouldn't be willing to make that call. But we can see that all major moving averages here are switching into a bullish posturing for the weekly. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. I'm just generally going to have a bullish bias when those are in that posture. So yeah. Anyways, John Dude says, Krown, was your mentor right in the end about coin? He was. He was indeed, man. He said, this one looks really fucking bad. Back around here at around just under 300, I believe. I was like, no, man, this looks great. And February actually did reclaim that high, but no follow through, of course. And so I'm going to be wrong about this one. He's going to be right about this one, as it typically does go. But Coinbase here, similar to Bitcoin, it's like probably wouldn't take too much to get it on a bounce. Maybe it heads a little bit lower first towards like 168, 169, and then bounces. But are you going to slice through those September 2024 lows without having a bounce in between? I'd be more inclined to say that you are going to have a bounce in between there. But make no mistake about it. The monthly RSI is in an obviously bearish posturing. The only way that I'd actually be able to switch around my opinion on that is if and this is actually very true for most assets that I think that we've looked at, certainly today, and that we'll probably look at. But I'd be bearish on most things as long as they're below the March open. If they can reclaim March opens, then things start to look like a bit of a turnaround. But as long as that condition is not met, trend is your friend, and the trend would be to the downside. So when the trend is to the downside, I'm just looking for bounces. Not to say that a reversal can't happen. It's just, it needs to prove itself first, in my opinion, in the way that I look at things. For more aggressive people, you can front run that sort of shit. Good luck. It hasn't worked out too well for me in the past. But yeah. Anyways, I see we have Pisa next. He says, good morning, sir. Could you please take a look into XRP? Sure. Is this one safe from all of the nonsense? We said it was likely to go back down to $2, and it went down to 190, so I'm wrong. Fuck Krown. Fucking hate that guy. Fagtard, die. Anyways, again, joking. All right, it's a joke. Similar to Bitcoin, similar to most things that we're probably going to look at, you do have that potential for bullish divergence here. And I do think in the short term, this one is setting up for a bounce. It has hit kind of our major area that we were looking at, $2. So I do think that this one can bounce up from here, probably even a lot, like 235 to 245 region. But again, just like Bitcoin, just like many equities as well, as long as it's below that March high, which for this one is basically $3, hard to love. You can see a bounce, but it is a lower high as long as you're below there. So this correction, even if it is bullish, can take many forms. I mean, it could rally up here, put in a lower high, come back down, so maybe swing a little bit lower, close a little bit lower, put in a third drive of bullish divergence, and then be off to the races. But my point is that this can take many forms. So yeah, just be aware of where your risk is for something like this, because below, what is this, February's low? From there, have to be looking somewhere close to $1.50. So at least that's what I'd be doing. Anyways, Punani Muffin says, WGMI. I just completely skipped over that name. Punani Muffin. WGMI, Bitcoin miners. Oh, okay. I thought that was like a WAGMI or something. We're gonna make it. No, we almost made it. But we didn't. And now we're poor again. And now have to cancel everything. No more America. No more going to Florida. Kidding. Okay. Elsa always goes, what? Okay, so this is a Bitcoin miner. Hard chart to love here, man. Did take out the prior low from September of 2024. Most things in the stock market have not taken out that low yet. So this one is definitely relatively weak. If it does bounce with the rest of the market, that I do think in the short term you are going to see another attempt at a bounce. This one, is ripe for a lower high somewhere between like 20 to 23 bucks if it does happen. This is a weekly, by the way, so this could take some time. Obviously, you didn't really give me a time frame, so I'm just making it up here. But daily time frame, we do see potential for bullish evidence. Needs to confirm a local low here. If it could pop back up above 1585, I would say that would be confirmed, and you are in for a bounce. But again, bounce first and foremost likely leads to another lower high here. The monthly is a real reversal, in my opinion. So long term, the direction is down. Does it get a bounce in the short term or not? Short term, always difficult, but long term, I do think that this one comes down closer to 11.5 bucks. If things get really, really bad, then maybe all the way back down to October 2023 lows. But I'd say somewhere around 11.5 to 12 bucks. Or sorry, 12.5 to 11.5 bucks, for a monthly bounce. And obviously this can, again, take a long time. In fact, it probably will. So yeah, I wish we could just speed run this portion of the market cycle. Also most of last year as well, just speed run that shit out. But unfortunately, markets have another idea. And of course, markets are really designed to, they're designed to make you want to capitulate by boredom in a way. That is one great way to get capitulation. Anyways, Carter John says, Krown, hug me and give me a kiss in the forehead. I'm scared. Yes. And I'll also give you a hug and a reach around, sir, as well. Check Luxo, please. Jesus, what the fuck is this thing? I'm actually genuinely curious. I guess it's this. Surprise, surprise. Looks like absolute fucking dog shit, man. Again, if it does get a bounce, I don't think it's going to be reversal. This thing has only ever gone down. It literally only has ever gone down. Like literally only has ever gone down. It's literally only ever gone down. And so it needs the nuke. It needs the nuke, and it needs to get wrecked. It needs to get, it already is wrecked, to be honest, yeah. It's already been nuked, honestly. This thing has been nuked a long time ago. Trey 123420 says, can you please take a look at INC token on Pulse Chain? Probably not on TradingView, man. But based off of the name, I'm going to. Oh, it is on TradingView. Let's check it out. Well, at least it's not fully going down, but it does seem to be in a very long-term range, which. Just go over this one as well, which I don't want to call a break of this range before it actually happens, but could this be a reaccumulation range here? I guess possibly. If you are long-term bullish and don't think that this thing is complete bullshit, then perhaps yes. But do you test the bottom side of the range again, closer to like 1.5 bucks? Probably yes. You already kind of got there yesterday. Does it try for a bounce from here? Probably yes as well. But do you hold $2 range? Yeah, I do think you're generally going to bounce from this region. But if your question is it going to go to 125 first or bounce first? I would say you will see a bounce first before going to some like 125. I think in the short term, worst case scenario would be like $1.50. It comes back down there again, probably puts another drive of bullish evidence and then goes for the rally. But either which way, if it's not here, then it's likely there. I do think that you're in for a bounce there. And bounce could easily bring this thing back up above 2.5 bucks. Just long term, I think that this is very uninteresting because it's been in the same range since 2024. So while everything else in their mother was rallying to new all-time highs and beyond, this thing didn't join in the festivities. Calamity says top crown bounce levels for Sui, and is it toast? Well, we did call a top on Sui about a month and a half, 2 months ago now. So I do think it is long-term toast, to be honest. I think that most altcoins have seen their highs for this cycle. I think if Bitcoin does turn it around and make new highs, you're going to see very few altcoins make new highs with it. And most of them will just rally up into lower highs. But here for Sui, it's very similar to Bitcoin on the daily. Well, actually a little bit weaker, and technically no bullish divergence there. We did make lower lows on daily RSI, but you have to ask yourself the question, if Bitcoin bounces, will SUI bounce as well? Yeah, I think so. I think very likely it would. So I'm more inclined to say that you're going to get a bounce up, maybe this thing bounce up to like 270-ish region, but long term, the trend is your friend. The weekly is in a downtrend. Whenever you see altcoins in a weekly downtrend, it's usually over for a long time. You could even make that same statement in many cases on the daily time frame. And this one really bucked the trend back in mid-January, and that is where we got bearish on this thing. So I'd be saying the same thing here as well, man. If there are bounces, I'm just on lower high watch. I think in the short term, if it does bounce, I think your bounce gets stopped somewhere around 270 to 280-ish region. All higher term timeframes are bearish and toppy. I think that this one's over the long term more likely to move to the downside. But in terms of a bounce, this area does make a lot of sense for a bounce. It is essentially where that November 2024 rally began, as well as that prior local high, the swing high from March of 2024. So a lot of the times you get a bounce just from the virtue of retesting these nasty regions. So yeah. All right, let's see what else we got. Ju says PLTR daily weekly. Sure, let's look at it. All right. So this is the defense stock, I think, or I'm pretty sure it is. It looks like a top to me, man. It looks like a top to me. You have one massive shooting star dildo over here. You see an RSI read like this alongside price action like that. I have to say that this one's topped out for a while. I do think that this one will, I don't know how long this takes. Maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's a few months. It very likely does move down closer to $60 before the next real bounce attempt. But, in the very, very short term, which I don't know if you are on a daily. Well, I'd actually be more inclined to say, yeah, on the short term, this one does come down a little bit lower. I don't think it's going to bounce exactly from here just yet. Would like to see it around the 200 simple or the 377. These are nice areas as well, especially with a gap in line from November here too. So, if it did get down around there, I think that's your very obvious bounce region. Maybe it bottoms out there, but at least a bounce for something like that. Take another. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down these balls. That's right. These communist balls need to be stopped. They need to be stopped at all costs. Whiskey Bravo says, Pulse chain is poo. Sir, you just did the demon summoning circle. And now there's going to be 50 fucking Hexicans making videos about you saying, this guy, have you heard this guy? He thinks that Pulse is bad. Let's fucking get him. He has a different opinion. Fuck him. It's all right, fair enough. But I'm just letting you know what you're getting yourself into, sir. When you antagonize the Pulse community, the Richard Hart community, the Hex community, they will put out a hit on your head because they are also fagtards. No, kidding. Okay, kidding. They do it because they feel very, very aggressively about something, and they don't like it if someone disagrees. Anyways, Carter John says, Dear Krown, what would you look for a bear market bottom if cycle is actually done? Okay, so here's the assumption. The cycle is done. Find me the bear market bottom in advance. So to do that, and I would say definitely first and foremost, this is going to be a very crude sort of calculation here. But what I bring you back towards is something that has actually been very consistent for Bitcoin throughout the years. And we'll start it off here with 2011, from bull market top to bear market low. What was the drawdown? Almost 94%. Okay. What about for the next cycle in 2014 from the high to the low? Well, what was the drawdown like? It was a little bit less. It was 86.5% compared with, again, 94%. So, that is kind of a big difference, but it's decreasing is my point. Then 2017 from high to low, 84%. So again, a small decrease there, but a decrease nonetheless. And then in 2021 from high to low, another 77.5% down. Again, a nice decrease there as well, but still pretty fucking big. So, I would imagine somewhere between 60 to 70% drawdown for Bitcoin if it is going to be indeed a bear market. So taking that off of the current high, 50% down brings you back to, low 50s. 60% down brings you to like 40. Personally, I think 40 would actually make a lot of sense. Again, that is with the assumption that the high actually is here, which I am not convicted of just yet. Although I am bearish on the short and medium, well, very, very short term, I do think it bounces here, but I am bearish on the medium term. For Bitcoin, as long as it's below that March high, that is just, one of my rules. But I think that this is honestly going to take a long time here. Anyways, we've seen the move, we've seen volatility explode. That was kind of the things that I was looking for. In fact, daily BBWP's back around those prior highs. It is kind of an extreme posture. So, do things slow up a little bit from here after being, in my opinion, very exciting for the past couple of weeks? I think so. Yeah. Anyways, Tony C says my limit buy is sitting all alone at $67,000. Sounds lonely, sir. Craden C says yes, and if it is a bear, they will blame you for it because stupid is as stupid does. Yeah, I've learned to understand this from doing YouTube over the years. In fact, YouTube's really good for your spirituality because, you come to these realizations that a lot of the time people don't really care about your opinion, or they don't really care about your opinion. What most people want, what probably 80% of people want, is they want to hear their opinion coming from your mouth. And it's just like, do I agree with you or not? Fair enough. I mean, we like people who are like us, right? But at the same time, that's where mentalities like that come from, of course. Anyways, Mickey says no bear market. Let's see 70,000 yes, 100,000 to 40,000, erasing all gains with new president. Again, I'm just going over the history of that. I've always heard that this time is different. I remember last cycle, people said it couldn't go down below 30,000 because of some fundamental bullshit reason. Same shit in 2018. Can't go below 6,000 because blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't around in 2014, but I imagine there was a similar thing as well. There's always a reason. There's always something. There's always fucking something. So yeah. Anyways, I don't lean too bearish. Fear and greed is at 15. Yeah, another reason why I do hold on to personal bullish hopium, but let me just bring this up as well. With fear and greed this low, like at a 15 read, better off looking for at least a local low. Doesn't need to be a full-on reversal, but a low. And I do think that Bitcoin has a local low here, and it is going to rally up in the short term. The question to me is how high does this rally go? And I think maybe best case scenario is $87,000 if it is bearish, and if it's bullish, then obviously, obviously it should just go up from there, I guess. Although it could come down for maybe one more drive of bullish divergence. That would also make me very interested in long-term long positions, but. For right now, we're seeing those signals in the background. Just I think it's going to take some time. People became bearish really quickly this cycle. I mean, that's always how it kind of goes, I think. LOL, the Parisian guy comes in and calls everything unbearable. So on brand. Yeah, I mean, French people are honestly the worst. Like, they really are. I have some French friends. They're great people. But in mass, France, they're the real communists, by the way, in case you didn't know. They're the real ones who are actually, who started off the communism shit. Fuck that Karl Marx guy. It was actually, the French are the ones who popularized it and continue to popularize it. I fucking hate it, man. I fucking hate it. Anyways, Fingless Cave says, Krown, make it go up for the anniversary, or I'll put a bat up Elsa's night dress. What the fuck? I thought that was going to be going in a completely different direction, sir. I think if it hits below 10, might go to a penny. I don't know what that's in reference to. It's a grizzly bear market, yeah. It's a fucking gorilla market, man. Crypto Clown World says 3 options. 1, bounce now. 2, sideways and down for 4 to 6 months, a new all-time high. 3, 18 to 24 months bear. Maybe. I mean, it can take so many different forms, man. I personally don't like making statements like that, but in the short term, I think that things bounce here. They're already under a little bit of a bounce, but it doesn't really change anything. Or nothing super significant just yet. Cop that, you Frenchies. I mean, the French also started Canada, and Canada is very soy, very soy. Anyways, Pissing off all of the Canadian people as well. I apologize. Canadians are very, very nice. They're lovely people. Okay, I'm just making some jokes on the interwebs. Anyways. Let me just see. What else do we have? El Kabong Return says, why do so many Americans not understand the difference between socialism, social democracy, and communism? It's really not that hard. I'm not... It's too retarded to answer, honestly. Too retarded to answer. Of course they're all different. No shit. No one's saying that they're not different, but holy fucking shit, man. They all come from the same tree. Anyways. Yeah, man. As far as the Trump conversation goes, I think unless this market turns around, before the end of this year, I think he's going to seal away his fate with people hating him. People will deal with you for a little bit, but if they start losing money because of you, then they turn on you. That is the one way. William Valadez says, "Hope all is well, Krown. What's up, man? What is Ethereum next resistance you are looking at daily?" Okay, Ethereum here. Similar to Bitcoin as well, by the way, just has that slight amount of bullish divergence here, although it is on significantly lower lows. Probably bounces as well, probably not as strongly as Bitcoin, to be fair, too. But I think in a hopium scenario, it could bounce up to like 2,500. Wouldn't be too out of the ordinary there. But that would be my next resistance, and that is pretty much in alignment with your March highs. So that is like your obvious traditional technical resistance there, if you want to call it that. I do think you're going to get a rally up somewhere close to there. Again, didn't happen from the area that I want to see it at, but probably from here, something like this. But if it is going to be bearish, that's where you expect your lower high, of course. So Ethereum, I'm actually genuinely curious what the what's it called? The Bitcoin pair looks like. So we'll look at that in a second, but Jesus, man, already taken out his 2024 lows. I mean, God, that is just, I think that this one goes even lower, man. I do think it goes lower overall. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go down to 1,500. I believe that's what we said as well on this past weekend's Big Four analysis. Let's look at the Bitcoin pair. Jesus, back down to those lows. Still though, I do think on your first test of a prior major low, it's almost always a good play to be looking for a bounce. And again, this is a monthly time frame, so theoretically could take, anywhere between 2 and 4 months to really start to formulate. So I don't personally, I just don't like getting bearish, like looking for further continuation in the immediate time frame when you're around a major low like this. I think it could very easily be a rally from here and then roll over later. But yeah, I mean, long term, that's fucking ugly, man. See what the yearly looks like. I want to see this one. Yeah, also pretty fucking ugly. Jesus. Heavily bearish long term as long as you're below about 4 million Satoshis. So there's that. Nick A says Ethereum. Oh, yes, like I read your mind. I didn't even know that you sent that. But yeah, looking at Ethereum, Bitcoin on the weekly, don't think that I have much to change here, to be honest. Again, you see that same potential for bullish evidence here. Or actually, no, the current weekly is even lower our side, but a lot of days left to go in this week. It's been straight fucking down here. Like, it really would not take too much to get a lot of these things on a bounce. Although I would be looking at the bounce as bearish. Just, I mean, shit, man. Ethereum has basically been straight down since fucking September 2022. So it's gone a full cycle now with not having any legitimate uptrend on a time frame that matters. So hard to love that. Maybe it's began its long-term trend towards zero versus Bitcoin. And as always, this is your real chart. Yeah. But of course, it's just a range, guys. Just a range. Here's a range high, and I guess here's a range low. Not for me. What's up, Caretaker? Tonight at 11, Doom. By the way, I should let everyone know, if you haven't noticed already, Caretaker's RSI has been updated. It is now compatible with the skeleton key if you're using the Quant Prime service. And we actually have some other fun stuff, some other cool stuff coming up for Caretakers offerings as well soon. Let's see. Amira says, what do you think about Sui? I think we went over that one earlier. Long term, I do think that this one has seen the top for this cycle. I haven't changed my opinion on that since January. But in the short term, does it get a bounce with everything else? Probably yes. just, I do think that your bounces are very limited here. You know, if it bounced up to like, if it bounced up to 270 or or $3 anywhere in that pocket, like I'd look at that as an opportunity to let go. I mean, you are at that prior swing high. You are at this breakout over here. You know, it's probably going to bounce. So usually high quality bounce areas, but I don't think that the bounce is going to be reversal. That's my main point. As I've been saying for a lot of these things, most alts, again, I'll repeat, I do think have actually seen the highs for the cycle, even if Bitcoin were to make new highs later this year. I think that they would put in big rallies. They probably have very big rallies, if Bitcoin were to put in new highs, but ultimately they would fail. Anyways, let's see. Anderson77 says, Cardano short to medium term accumulation zones to watch for, in your opinion, assuming the bigger markets don't fall apart. See what Cardurpio looks like. Oddly enough, looks a lot different than pretty much all of the other majors in crypto, which I wasn't expecting to see, to be honest. You are coming off of a couple of major moving averages right here, but this one for right now, I mean, this is a range, to be fair. I would actually be looking forward to try for a bounce here. And play out some sideways between 65-cent low versus 90-cent high. Where would be my buy zone? I mean, I guess that would be kind of where it's at right now. But when I look at the monthly, it's like, is this thing actually failing here? And this is like just a pure fucking trap. Look, if it comes back down below February's low and closes below there on a daily, okay, yeah, this one's going to join the rest of the market. Probably have another move down to like 35, 36 cents, something like that, and then try for a bounce there. But again, I'm running with your assumption here. Your assumption is that it's like the general picture is not bearish. So if I'm running with that assumption, this area does make a lot of sense for a bounce. I'm just not sure if I agree with your assumption. That's the thing. Because I do think that traditional markets probably have another leg down after a bounce, but see how high a bounce gets first. Tyler says, do you think Gritcoin will outperform Bacon Chain? You tell me, sir. You're the one with the with the damn sticks in the fryer. Flaming fire. we are flaming dragon. All right, Flaming Fire. Muddy Coin. Friend said he made 55,000 with 175,000 and a half. Muddy Coin. Will you chart it? Sure. We are Flaming Dragon. You give us simple jack now. I don't think this is on TradingView, ma'am. Maybe it's on CoinDerp. Muddy Coin. It does sound absolutely redacted. Yeah, it's on Solana, so it's some sort of meme coin, shit coin. I don't have an opinion on a chart that looks like this, man. It doesn't trade, and whatever the hell it is, this is weird. I don't know how he did he short it or something. There's not even enough volume in there for his trades to even make sense, to be honest. Assuming I'm looking at the right thing here, but yeah. Lily Bean says, what do you think of Tau on the 4-hour and daily with USDT? If you could also, oh, Jesus. All right, let's do, okay, Tau. All right. Oh, Jesus. Very bad. Very bad. I don't know when we looked at this one last, but did break below these range lows and comes back down to your next lows. But just like a lot of the other things, just by the not so great virtue of retesting a prior major low, it's like, are you going to bounce there? Probably. If it bounces up to 300, I look at that as a gift from God. I think that this thing eventually goes lower, though. I mean, about as ugly as it gets. Short-term bounce, maybe, but long-term down. Yeah, heavily bearish long-term as long as you're below $500, which is quite far away. CRV, I can already tell you, is absolute fucking garbage in terms of charts. And Ondo, I'm actually just curious. Every once in a while, we find an altcoin that does not look like absolute shit when the rest of the market looks like absolute shit. At least this one hasn't taken out 2024 lows, so it's better than most shit coins. But similar to Bitcoin, you got that same potential for bullish divergence here. Probably bounces up closer to $1, but I think that whatever this thing is, even if it bounces in the short term, I think that you're topped out for this cycle as well. Yeah, short term bounce, Maybe it gets back up to $1, maybe even a little bit more, but long-term down. Long-term down. I think at some point in the coming months, you'll see a full retest of your 2024 lows, or your August 2024 lows. That would be the area that I'd be looking for a big bounce into a bull trap and then down for eternity. But yeah, dear God, make Bitcoins go down to 40,000, says Fuji. 40,000 keks, huh? Personally, I mean, I wouldn't mind, but it's not my first target right now. Give Bitcoin a chance right here first. I mean, this is major moving average. This is, we have seen many things. The only way that Bitcoin gets down to 40,000 bucks, in my opinion, is if it's like a real bear market. And we'll know if it's a real bear market if Bitcoin goes below November's lows. What's also concerning, and shout out to Tonight for this, the quarterly for Bitcoin has not taken out the previous quarterly low. In traditional markets, it's a different story, actually. And we have to ask ourselves, like, what's more likely here? Traditional markets, here's your NASDAQ futures. It has taken out that prior low. Usually not the best sign. Sky USDT. This was the previous maker for Cameron. All right, Sky. Let's check it out. Let me see how I'm doing on time as well. I do have a massage today. I'm very excited for it because I desperately need it. I guess KUDERP. Not much history here. Not much history, and for the history that we do have, it seems like a obvious pump and dump scam. Does it have another pump from here into a lower high and then comes lower? I don't know. Long term, I'll just be bearish on this thing. Weekly, bearish, trend. I think that this thing is at some point going to retest its low from February, probably make new lows from there as well. It does have trend on its side, but that's to the downside, unfortunately. Zero. Yes, we are going to zero as well. That is my next target. Wow, so you're a chick? Nice jawline. Yes, very good one, Travis Kelly. Okay, all right, fagtard. Anyway, say that with love, okay? Even though you obviously seem to be having some sort of a response there. Anyways, yes, can you tell your girlfriend to stop giggling? We are trying to make serious goo app. We do need to make serious goo app. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. GFI. Yeah, we can do this one. Sure, why not? She still have a decent amount of time here. Goldfinch. Yeah, okay, this is absolute garbage, sir. You will have found an absolute dog shit chart as well. I think this one even could move a little bit lower in the short term before a bounce. At some point, this thing will come back down to 2023 lows. Will there be bounces along the way? I don't know, probably, but the long term is your friend, and the long term trend is to the downside. Maybe you have a chance for a double bottom there, but yeah, it still would imply decently lower from where it's currently at. Another 50%, almost. Bullish. It's bullish. This one's going to change the world. Is this the bottom before the next one? This is the low before it goes lower. Maybe. Like I said, I'd give Bitcoin a chance to bounce here first. Like, these are traditional good bounce areas, so I don't want to really be going against that, but do things roll over after that? I guess if it is going to be bearish, then that's what you would expect. So fair enough. Someone's been watching Candace Owens. I don't think you're talking about me, because I actually think that Candace Owens is a complete fucking, she really is a retard. I mean that in the scientific sense. Like, her brain is not operating properly. When your answer to everything is that Jews are the problem, you're a fucking moron. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Anyways. Let's see what else we got. Please do Aerodome. I don't know the ticker, so I'm just going to type it in. Is this a real stock? I think it's a real stock. Aerodome. No, it is a crypto. Jesus. Again, we have another thing that's retesting, prior major lows. This one coming in from 2024 lows. Like, just by the virtue of getting down around there, you're probably in a bouncy region, but long term, this one's kind of set in here. Like, let's just theoretically say this one even bounced up all the way to like $1. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. I mean, it really has been straight down since the high. That is actually fucking just awful. Only 80% down? That's a buy. Yeah, wow. Just fucking brutal. ICP BTC. I remember this one from the prior cycle. Let's see if it's done what it set out to do. No, it's just gone lower, actually. Yeah, things that trend down continue to trend down, and there is a great history of most altcoins versus Bitcoin trending towards zero over a long enough time horizon. And this one is no different, in my opinion. Bitcoin rallying up a little bit more here. Let's see how high in girth you can get Bitcoins. I think that this rally could get to like 85 or 87, somewhere around there. Where was the weekly range high for the HPDR? I think that's kind of where your upside's limited to in the short term. Yeah, 86.5. So that kind of align with that. Joking is not allowed on this channel. That's exactly right. Elsa, ban anyone who makes a fucking joke, who tries to be funny, any attempt at humor at all, get rid of them. Yeah, I am still holding on to a little bit of hopium, John, dude, to be honest. Because like I said, okay, I am bearish. I am bearish on, on the medium term here, but if you mean hopium in the sense that the bull market isn't over, yeah, as long as Bitcoin's above that November low, I'm not going to be calling like a full reversal into a bear market. I do think that, we have seen several signals that are consistent with prior bear markets as well. But I want to see how a bounce happens here first. Like I really want to see that first before I get too ahead of myself. Because that is something that I have done in the past that, I've made a note of. And I want to try to avoid, if I can, this particular cycle. So yeah. How's your Ripley Nipplies? We actually looked at that one earlier. I forget, but
can you wish someone happy
where?
anniversary? Right there.
Maybe show me the fucking comment, huh?
Okay.
Elsa will show me a comment now. It is funny how networks and the DEX on the same network are holding, but everything else is dumping. Yeah. Carlos Rangel says, can you wish my girl Jenna Talich a happy anniversary, please? We love your streams. Happy anniversary, Jenna Talich and Carlos. That's awesome. Hope you guys are doing well. And I don't know, to many more anniversaries as well. Don't break up or do anything like that, Stay together. You guys have stayed together during previous bear markets, I'm sure. It'll be okay. It will be okay. XMR looks like it may deviate from the market trend. Let's see. I mean, XMR is a very interesting one to me because in theory, it makes a lot of sense. In application, I mean, it doesn't make as much sense, I suppose, but it's very different than any other crypto in terms of charts. The way that I look at this, similar to the to these LARP lines right here, it is one massive range, right, on the monthly, and you just hit the range high. You're probably going to come back down, hopefully put in a higher low, but this thing's been in a range since 2021. Like, I have no reason to believe that it's going to be breaking out or breaking down anytime soon. I do think that next moves to the downside. I just don't think it's going to break below 100. So yeah. Do you think that M2 supply is suggesting a higher high? Well, M2 supply is quite literally almost making a new high, I believe. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, compared to the previous high in September, it is essentially there or even a little bit higher. So, another reason why I hold on to a little bit of bullish hopium. Should be known that this one did open a trade based off of this setup here. That was back at 102. It's still open right now, and actually it'll continue to be open because the way to close it is we need to see that yellow line cross the blue line, and it's actually just getting further away. So very interesting there. We are seeing a divergence. So the people who are, I guess, focusing on that, there is something there, I suppose. It's not my main thing that I look at, but when I need a little bit of hopium right now, that's what I'll look at. Anyways, Carter John says, Dear Krown, in terms of timing, if market cycle is done, do you think the amount of time to reach... Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me do the super chat first. Precious says, for happy ending tonight for the analyst, Elsa Satoshi. That's going straight to the fucking purse fund. Jesus. Let me see. Let's see. Carter John says, Dear Krown, in terms of timing, if market cycle, okay, so the assumption here is market cycle is done. Do you think the amount of time to reach the low will be shorter since time to reach the peak was shorter, or is it a fully dependent on traditional market? I would assume so, just like the drawdowns get less over time. Well, hold on, maybe not. Let's see. Has it been true from cycle to cycle that Bitcoin takes shorter or longer? Well, I can already look at this one and say it's probably not going to work, because this first cycle over here was about 150 days, like a little under half of a year to the low. This one here, over a year. This one here already knows over a year as well. Yeah. This one over here, how long? About a year actually as well. Consistently seems to be around a year. Yeah, we haven't really seen a deviation from that in recent times. So I don't know, man. Is it dependent on traditional markets? It's probably more dependent on the actual fundamental situation, to be fair. What's going on with the Fed and all of the sort of moving portions in the background that make up the global macro fundamentals. So to me, like, I'm not necessarily interested in time. Like, timing is very difficult, but when we see price obviously reverse and make an actual uptrend, that's where it becomes very, very easy to call something like that. So I guess just as an exercise in speculation, I'd say it's probably not going to be shorter. No. Although I hope that we speed run this. So fair enough. Anyways, let's see. Hello, Josh says, do you think alts that are way down from all-time high will hit a new all-time high? No, I don't think so. If Bitcoin goes up again like schizo, okay. I think for 99% of alts, you're not going to see new highs on them. Is this one going to be different? I mean, it's a Solana meme coin, so that should be good. No, absolutely not. Okay, I shouldn't say absolutely. There are no absolutes in trading. There's only probabilities, but look, man, you don't go 91% down and then make new all-time highs unless your name is Bitcoin. That's the only one that really survives drawdowns like that, or has survived a drawdown like that. Whenever I see something like this, this is a high for life. You're high for life, but again, if Bitcoin has a major rally, and let's say Bitcoin does make a new high, I think this one would get a major rally as well. Could rally all the way up here, which was a fucking tremendous move. But I don't think it would go much further than that in the most bullish of scenarios. And you could draw the same sort of LARP line for just about any shitcoin, meme coin or otherwise. So yeah. Anyways, why you built like a king pigeon mixed with a night owl? I don't even know what that means, man. You've been watching too many birds, you fagtard. Kidding. Okay, kidding. All right.
Outside is my new favorite.
Joshua says, sir, is Mr. Fiboswani coming back for a video anytime soon? Well, depends on how you define soon, but I believe we agreed upon April 4th. So that would be 1, 2, 3, about 3 weeks from this coming Friday. Yeah. So kind of further away. I don't know his thoughts right now, to be honest. So I'm going to be very interested to hear what he has to say. If this has changed, anything in his calculations, be interesting to see. Anyways, let's see. Just wait for levels to reclaim or reverse trend. Yeah, exactly, man. Like, you're always going to be better off as a trader or investor, especially as an investor, for waiting for an actual reversal to be confirmed. Yes, that means you're not going to buy the actual low. But for Bitcoin, like, where did the reversal happen? Well, oops, now I'm just drawing a damn line. The reversal happened from the last market cycle back here. It would have told you at about $18,500 that trends are reversing. It's time to be bullish. And did you buy the actual low? No. In fact, I remember I was calling that out in this region right here, and a lot of people were giving me shit, because of this, because of this mentality back on over here. But in the grand scheme of things, It's fine. And that's pretty much what's happened over here as well. You know, we did start to get bearish on this channel, at least for the short and medium term, based upon this breakdown from Friday the 21st, or it was actually a couple days after that when it actually fully broke down. So that'd be Monday, the 24th of February. It's like, did I time the top? No, but it is going to come, you know, it did come down a decent amount more there. But as long as Bitcoin's in that downtrend, I'm just going to be bearish. You know, I have to be bearish. Although I do look at signals in the background that suggest that a low, if Bitcoin is bullish long term, then we're very much in the region where you'd be expecting the low to come in from. But it needs to prove itself to me first. So I'll just kind of call back to the earlier portion of this video where I go over the two things that I absolutely must need to see before I'm interested in long-term long positions. Okay. Bitrod says, I know how bad the downtrend is because of how much I masturbate, waiting for a masturbational divergence Krown. Yes. So there needs to be a divergence between your masturbations and price, but which one needs to make a higher low? That's a question only you can answer, sir. Please let me know and keep me updated on your research. Nikki says, maybe 40,000 Bitcoin first, then money printing. Who knows? Like I said, it can take many forms. If Bitcoin does go below that November low from 2024, I could easily see, you know, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 bucks. Sure. But that's still pretty fucking far away from where we're currently at. So again, that's my line in the sand for saying, hey, no longer a bull market. This is actually a bear market. Look for bounces to get into long-term shorts, if anything. And get ready for more downside as well. And keep in mind that, you know, from current high to 40,000 would be 62.5% correction. Even that would be on the lower end in terms of prior corrections. Hood for juice. Sure, we can look at Hood. Robin Hood. Whoops, I did the wrong one. My apologies. That is a top for a very long time. A nice big swing high. Massive doji, long-legged doji dildo plus reversal below. I think this one's coming down to sub 30, like 27.5 to 28.5. Probably tries for a bounce there, but I don't think that bounce is going to be the reversal bounce, to be honest. I think that this one's in deep shit for a while. What's FOMC probability? I actually don't have that, to be honest. So I don't fucking know. I don't know. I try not to be too to put too much weight on that kind of stuff because it's just impossible to predict, unless you're an insider, which I'm not. Let's see. Better to reclaim. Yes, 100%. Let's see. Brad Garrison says, hey, Krown, love your OnlyFans. Thanks, man. I'm glad that you're a subscriber as well. TRX weekly, monthly. Sure. Okay. Wow. What happened here? Holy shit. That thing, I just want to see first. Pumped up over 100% and only kept about 24% of that. So not great. This one really makes me think, like, what is going on here that this one looks so different than most things? I think you're actually, this one is markedly different than Bitcoin. You are in a trading range, top side of the range at just under 27 cents, bottom side of the range, closer to 18.5. You're in the middle of that range. So to me, that's a no-go zone. But to be fair, it's not actually in a downtrend just yet. It's kind of throwing me off here. I was expecting to see this thing as absolute shit, but it's not. At least right now. But it's like, do I think that Tron is going to pull through when, if other things don't? Don't know about that, but I'd just be looking for a range here. Other than that, I'd say a healthy amount of I don't know for this one because I don't feel any particular way. Or it's not that I don't feel any particular way. I don't see anything particularly obvious for either direction here. If I had to call it, I'd just say back down to like 19, 20 cents just because, that's what most things have done. But this thing seems to be operating a little bit more on its own, to be fair. Crypto Rec says, sir, correct me if I'm wrong. Tokens which don't break below their September to October 2024 breakout regions are the better ones for potential recovery. Well, it's not that Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would look at that as a relative strength read compared to other shitcoins. But if you're thinking about Bitcoin, then no, I mean, yeah, I still want to be looking at the ratio, man. I think they're generally going to be losers versus Bitcoin, anyways. But yeah, the tokens that haven't broken their 2024 lows, then I guess they're stronger than the other tokens. Yes, so they should have theoretically much better bounces compared to other tokens. But is it going to be compared to Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't think so. A lot of assumptions there. Tokens that do not break lows against Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly, Nike Benson. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah, if those tokens haven't broken a new lows versus Bitcoin, then I would look at them as certainly better options than whatever other shitcoins have broken a new lows. So yeah, can we check hype? Yeah, we can look at. We can look at hype. I think I still have it on my list here. I've been bearish on this one for a while and continue to be bearish on it. I do think that this LARP line will generally happen. Does it happen from where it's at right now or a little bit lower? I don't fucking know, but I do think you're probably going to bounce here. I think that most things are getting ready for an actual bounce. This thing could bounce up to like 19, 20 bucks. And, it's still a downtrend, obviously. That would be a great place to kind of get out because I don't see nothing good on the higher term timeframes. I mean, there's not much data here to really be looking at, but it just makes you think that bounces will ultimately fail. And you've already hit multiple extremes on daily BBWP here, like probably has a mean reversion bounce. So yeah. Anyways, is it happening tonight? Is what happening tonight? PP, please, for bad R. Yeah, I'm sure this altcoin is doing well. Again, just by the virtue of retesting 2024 lows, you're probably in a bouncy area. There is bullish divergence possible here on the daily. I do think it could easily bounce up, into this region here. Okay, not that high. Holy shit, this LARP line, that is pure hopium at this point. Somewhere around here. I do think that next move for most of these things is going to be a bounce attempt. It's just the real question is how high do a lot of these bounces get? Diamond Blackest Series says Superverse on the daily weekly. Yep, let me pull this one up here. It's actually talking with Elliot earlier today. Not about Super. We're actually just talking about this things are getting harder. Anyways, looking at Super again, retesting that 2024 low. It's like you're probably gonna bounce there. You're most likely to bounce there, but it's a hard chart to love now, and I say that as someone who's a friend of Elliot and supports him. But at the same time, like, as long as it's below like $1.50, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, in terms of charting. And has this one traded below the 2024 low? Let me just see, 36 versus 37. No, it has not just yet. So I guess there's like some very small amount of hopium there, but I'm inclined to say it probably doesn't play out. So yeah, does it try for a bounce here alongside most other things in this market? I mean, it's not even following right now, which is not a good sign. Bitcoin's bounced up, like 4,000, 5,000 bucks now? About 4,000 bucks now. This thing hasn't bounced really at all. Yeah, you can even see over here, up spot 38% on the day. Bitcoin's up 3% on the day. So, it's going to be losing versus its Satoshi value as well. I do think that you will get a bounce, but man, here's what I can tell you. Here's where all hell breaks loose. Is if it loses that August 2024 lows at that point, this thing's coming back down to the teens, I think. So it can be nasty, I suppose. Yeah. All right. Krown, can you look at OMUSD? Yeah, I mean, this one has been one of the most bullish ones, but is it still, or should I be calling it a high here as well? Okay. 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. That is, I'm always going to call a top on that. Doesn't mean that it can't bounce here. Doesn't mean it can't bounce back up, north of $7, but Yeah, I have to stick to my guns on that one. I would have to say that this one's most likely topped. Probably works its way down to $3 in the coming months. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you'll know it because it's back above shit like $8, I guess, and closing above there. Until then, like almost never do I see an asset survive 3 drives of bearish divergence on the weekly time frame without having a monumental correction. What were you talking about with Elliot? We were just talking about this this current market cycle, also traditional markets. Just like shit's gonna get hard. Shit's gonna get even harder. Anyways, let's see. TRU. Okay, I think we'll end on this one on Binance. Buying price, please. I don't fucking know your strategy. I don't know you don't even give a fucking time frame, man. Like, how can you just ask a random person on the internet for financial advice who has none of this information? There is no buy zone for a piece of absolute fucking garbage like this, man. In my opinion, if you want my opinion, there is no fucking buy zone for this because long term, it's only going to be going down. Can it get a bounce here? Yeah, it can get a bounce around 3 cents. It's pretty much there already. In fact, I guess it just hit there last night. So maybe it has a short-term bounce, maybe even bounces up to like 6, 7, 8 cents, whatever. Doesn't matter. Long-term, the trend is your friend. This thing will very likely make new lows. This is absolute fucking garbage. A thing that has been around for multiple cycles now did not make anywhere near prior highs in this 2024 saga where, the strong ones made massively new all-time highs. So it's on its nice general trend towards zero, sir. In fact, we will save one last thing for it, which is what it really deserves, which is the fucking nuke button. The fucking nuke button is here again. Fuck you and fuck this chart. Not fuck you, okay? Not fuck you. You're a great person. This chart, however, not a great person. This chart is terrible. Let's see. Sonic Degen says, "Hey sir, can you look at FTM USDT?" Sure. FTM. Let's see. I think we'll do like another one or two. Don't like it either. Yeah. Again, another thing that got nowhere near its 2021 high. I mean, just garbage, man. It is around those 20. Actually, it's around last month's low. Does it get a bounce here or not? If it is going to bounce, this would be the area to do it from. But anything below 70 cents is just long-term bearish, man. It's just bad. At least it does have these higher lows here, I guess. But I'm a lot more inclined to say that this thing is coming down to like 20 cents in the coming, sometime this year. All right. Let's see. Sonic. What is Sonic? We'll do Sonic and then Cookie. Sonic. Let's see. I don't know what the hell this thing is over here, but I'm guessing it's a bunch of hogwash. I don't know, man. I have to be bearish on a chart that looks like this. Anyways, let's see. Okay, yes, and who was it? Cookie as well. Okay, let's check out Cookie. All right, Cookie. Okay. Which one do I even go to for this thing? I guess this thing. I guess this one here. Not as bad as most of the things we've seen today, to be fair. And coming off of the 200 simple on the daily, also that low from February, probably tries a rally here. I guess for the Boolaw's sake, you hope that it holds this range between your highs at 30 cents and your lows at 13.5 cents. Just hit the low side of the range, probably tries for a bounce, but you are in a downtrend here. So I would have to say on a bounce, I'd be looking for another lower high, but more likely to bounce off this region than not, I suppose. Theme of the night, everything sucks, it's over. I have not said that at all. To be fair, I think I think that most alts, like 98, 99% of alts will not make new all-time highs, even if Bitcoin were to make new all-time highs. That's a major fucking assumption there, but yeah. Krown, the Sonic ticker is S. Oh, okay. It's just S. Got it. SUSD. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're right. there's not enough history here, man, because I guess they got rid of all the previous stuff. But this would be a decent bounce area again, just by retesting that low. But hard one to love without real history here. BNKR is looking a little too good. I'm curious. BNKR. You're talking about bankers, or are you talking about some sort of crypto? Oh, you're probably talking about some sort of crypto. Wow. Jesus, man. What the fuck? What is this thing? Let me see. BNKR. Bankroll Network. Oh, it's 80,000 market cap. I don't know, man. Something weird's going on here. Something very weird is going on here. Sell in March, come back in September. Fair enough. Sonic equals FTM. Yeah, gotcha. Anyways, all right. We'll do one last one for Bitrod. He wants to look at Doggycoin, and I think we'll end on this one. All right, Doggycoin I got over here, and let's go to a weekly. Coming off the weekly 200 simple, almost always you're going to see a bounce around a region like this. I mean, it's obvious it's already bouncing here, but just like most things, hard to love as long as you're below that early March high, which is 24 cents, 24 and change to be fair. I think it could easily, maybe not easily, but it could rally up to like 20 cents, no problem, and that'd still be another lower high. I think the higher term time frames, like the monthly, again, you're coming off of a major moving average here, very close to it. It's like, I'm not going to look for a breakdown on the first test of that. Usually things are going to bounce, and then if it's going to break down, it breaks down a little bit later. Yeah, hard one to love, but give it a chance to bounce here, come back to it after that. Like I said, bounce could easily come up to like 20 cents plus, just as long as it's below that March high at 24. Hard one to love. All right, that is where we're going to end things for today. My voice is nearly wrecked, but we'll be back on Friday, actually. We'll be back on Friday doing another live stream analysis. And then, of course, tomorrow will be a just regular upload. So, yeah, that's what we'll end things for right now. As always, I want to wish everyone the best of the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully